Okay, I come back for the second time. I was here this morning before I went to work, and I came back home just in a short while ago. And I haven't gone live twice at any time, but today is the first day, and so I will stick to it. And I will be speaking on the topic Liberians will not study war anymore. That is the main topic of my talk right now. There were some things that I left out in my first video, and I will go over them. But this second round of live talk is a continuation of the first video that I posted this morning. And people are clicking on it, or bit by bit. And I check with my mental community. Yes, the funds are running on it, and that is all that I care. And also for people to see the sense in it. Liberia is a place. It is a sweet place. We have to work hand in hand to keep it safe and sweet. And that is all that everyone cares. That is all that everybody is caring about. And it has to continue that way. No more war. So there is to say that if anyone does not have an idea, they have to leave the people, the political actors, in peace. Leave them alone. We are not going to pit one character against the other. And the main thing that really prompted me to be coming live today is the fact that some individuals, and they know themselves that they know the truth, that if you don't have anything productive to say, get away. Get away. Don't criticize other people that have shown their willingness to solve a problem. The problem Liberians are facing are too many, and we need people to help to solve those problems. And one like we are, people are saying he doesn't know anything, but what was going on in Liberia was really pathetic. Since 1847, look, when you go in that place there, you want to grieve. No car roads, nothing, everything locked up. Villages, they are just like, ghost towns. They are not in order. Since 1847, really? Since 1847, you reach to some villages, in some houses. No fire, things. So people sleep in darkness, they just get up, no sanitation, nothing. So Liberia was just going down. The only places that you saw life maybe in the counties, capitals, in Monrovia. But once you are out of Monrovia, once you are out of any capital city, you are in the jungle. Nothing else is working. No running water. No running water in some cities. They're drinking from well. Then they're in villages. So that was our reality. So we are still down. So when we came in and tried to change these scenarios and realities, that's all he could do. And the unfortunate thing was that, some inexperienced people accompany him. They didn't know anything. All they know is that they will get benefits, or they will have a chance to steal some government funding. And that was it. No experience. So the people continue to live in darkness, but they are trying to like steal money. And it happened. It been happening from time to time. And so we have to change from that mindset. And that's the only way we will ever, go forward. If we decide to do something to help out people there, they are engaged in witchcraft. So the problems are faceted. From one point to the other, people stripping, women naked, accusing them of men, accusing them of witchcraft. They don't have proof. And then they say, look, some sort of churches there saw visions that people really saw these people in witchcraft. In some cases, they go to work and kill innocent people, or they bring those big trees like oak leaves and oak trees, and then boil the acid, boil the back of it, and it contains very, very, it's highly toxic, and then they give it to somebody. And so when your assistant give her, now you start vomiting, they say, oh, that person, it's a witchcraft. So we still have that jungle mentality. And the disappointing thing is that it follows some people in the service of government. When they see some funding, they hack it. And that's the motivation of joining the Liberian government. But some people that respected themselves, or that still respect themselves, they stay out of government. They don't want to, work with government. But working with the government is the chance that they take, that they will, they will make away with something. And that is the motivation. They are not talking about benefit. They're not talking about continuity. And it is pathetic. So when one person errs, then they put the whole blame. How you will put the whole blame of the problems of Liberia from Jenkins Rabble's time, you put it on somebody who was trying to do good, and he did his good. He left legacy. He sustained his government from the moment he occupied that office to the time he left it. And he worked, and he left funding. People saw. So how can you miscategorize this person? I don't get it. Even if we are, was a bad man from the time he entered office to the time he left office, he was not bad every day. And the whole thing is that whole lot of people, a lot of people were working with him. We have senators, we have reps, we have all the other people, the ministers and everybody. How did they not see him doing these things? Why were they approving some policies? I never ever, saw where, going from ministry to ministry, so that people were doing these things. So we have to blame these people. We have to single them out, and because they made the failure, they made a big failure. But to blame one person, it is not logical. It is stupid. It is stupid that when somebody get up, is not coming back. There is hatred they are preaching. It's not a good thing. And some people that God granted them the opportunity, go to the United States, go to school, they ran away from every other thing they were doing, so many things here. And I will be targeting some people hereafter. If you went to Liberia, nothing is changing. There is no social services provided to the people. There is no welfare programs. There is no health care prioritized. And so what kind of, a civilization they carry to Liberia? The chance of coming to the West or going to the East Britain, and all of those places, is that you will carry a piece of legacy home. But so far, it is weird that I saw that carry a piece of thing that he saw in the West. From Primo, people must go to school free because education is power. So the success of any country depends on the quality of education it gives its citizens. So that what people see here, so children go to school free. When they get to college level, if parents are not able to pay, the government still gives money. Only when you graduate, pay back. Pay back. That's it. But in our settings, nothing like that is there. That when you graduate, you don't see employment become an issue. You don't get employed 4, 5, 6, 7 years, or when you get an employment, it is in the form of underemployment. You can't get all your needs met. So that's the kind of hard life people are living. And that is a continuum. Nothing changes. So we are saying, look, to help create a competent workforce, those people who are in government colleges, they will be assisted. At least if it is not everything, they will be given substantial assistance to make them to graduate without burden. So don't pay back. Government pays 95% of the school fees, and then just for those students to just go to school. You pay minor fees for maintenance, for any other thing, but now, too big. So a lot of people going out of college, a lot of people, even the wire certificate, was paying it. Otherwise, and that kind of money, that huge money, will go in some greedy pockets. They will not talk about national budget empowerment. It has been going on and on in 171 years. That money was going, not accounted for, not saved anywhere. So we are saying, look, this money, it should be routed this kind of way. In that way, people get benefit from the government. That is legacy. That is legacy. And I'm happy that Joe Boyka is continuing it. That's how the people eat. I believe if we were to win the second term, they will give students stipends. Because you can't be going to school, you have to eat something. That is the thing the boy was having in his mind. And then he didn't win. And Joe Boyka, instead of giving stipend, he's not doing it now. Government can give stipend because the money coming in. But it left on Weir's legacy. And still some people are not seeing it. You see, and I get a lot of people attending that university. My son is there. My daughter completed. So we get this kind of benefit. Some more people. My cousin just graduated from one of the colleges, in Maryland. The service will be held in about 2 days from now on Friday. So we are, represent an empowerment, for the country. Empowerment for the citizens. Things are working, in that direction. But more needs to be done. So Joseph Boyka is supposed to activate some other programs to add up. People need stipends. Then some people are not thinking about it once they are in that, that place, and then they think that all to it, but more needs to be done. We need to have a sweet country. But we are moved for education, and nobody can deny it. Nobody can deny it, that it is not existing. And it is we that stimulated this competition. Building stuff. You know how many houses that were, gutted that we are repaired? The pavement of roads. He started it. And then some people get out and they preaching hatred, just hatred, and declaring the former president, dead. Anybody who has pushed that mentality, the wrath of God will counterbalance on that person. Because we are comes from a region. We are interested in him. We are interested in him. We need his help. He's a member of us. And then somebody declaring him he's dead. That person must not be sound. And God is going to counterbalance on that person. They say they went to Europe. They went some other places. And they say they got that. And those countries in which they said they got their education, nobody knows them. So they go to Liberia to start noise making. You can't go to Europe and go back. If you went back, try to push some policies that you see there. If you came to America, if you went back, then some level of citizens' empowerment must be felt. But none of those things. They are not even talking about taxation. That is how stupid some people are. And they want to be shouting. I'm not hearing Fangon ever talking about taxation or how citizens will be compensated. Neither, this boy, the other boy here, Costa. All the time they want to talk at the height of their voices, but they don't mean anything. Citizens are suffering. This we are talking about. We are proposed a policy. Even if that was the one thing he did, the education, supporting education is the biggest thing, because education represents empowerment. Education is everything. Education unlocks doors to hidden opportunities. So somebody who supports education is somebody who is a validator. So we are started something. But our people say, Toto wanted to fly, but it doesn't have him. If we was someone that held a kind of higher education, like how we talk about those other, foolish broke people that we have been having, that they say they were doctors, doctor this, doctor that, but they didn't have ingenuity. If we was like one of them, Liberians would be licking grease. Look at what action he take. People are going to school, at least they are able to afford school fees. So the money that, were going in, some packets, they get places to go now. And so people hate, people carrying hate in their heart for we are. That is not reasonable. We was just one person. So he couldn't have been the wrongdoer. He was just only the figurehead for a group of people making up the government. Key people, including Pankun say they are just like 125 people. 125 people. It's a handful of people, but they are powerful. So we was not everywhere. We was never a defense minister. We was never an education minister. We was never anything. The public bureaus. We have more than 18 ministries. We have a lot of corporations and other things. We was not heading them. People were there. People supposed to, formulate, projects and the policies. So how will you take, how could you blame the president on everything? It's not even people now trying to blame Boakai. Boakai is not in defense ministry. Boakai is not doing any other thing. So people blaming him, they say, "Look, there is not. You cannot do it. You cannot denigrate him. You cannot, cause him outright. He is just one person. He is not all knowing. Anything people tell him, that's what he does. That's what presidency is. So I said this to mean that people who are targeting I'm going to take them on one by one. People will hear my voice, and I will put it in writing, and I will talk about it. And so that is it. Liberians, should look in the water and look and see their own problems. They can't just put it on one individual and think that it is fair. Where is a human being? He was trying something and he did pretty well. He accommodated many people. Whether the natural catastrophe, devastated some people, he built housing for them. Some people, for the time their moms brought them on the surface of the earth, they never saw electric light. We have carried electricity projects around, Liberia, build some modern houses and put people inside, and then, empower people in the educational arena. Is that not legacy? Is that not something for people to thank him for? Then when you go lose somebody, then they get out, they want to miscategorize, they want to abuse somebody that took his time, took his own resources to work out something in the interest of the people. It's not normal. In that way, if that is the routine, more people that have talents, they will retreat and the nation will suffer. We have tried that experiment. It worked like 60%. If he did not do all the other things, they were not available. But they tried to isolate. We are isolating in many ways so that they thought there would be lawlessness all over, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen. But the dangerous thing he did was he didn't question the outgoing administration. That's it. People empower us with money for 12 years and all beyond that. The United Nations, the United States, and all these regional, donor agencies. Still, what we are hearing is like $80 billion donated to Liberia. All that we saw that time, early increased salary. Prince Johnson was saying it. It's late. That in that place, people were making $30 an hour. So people were eating, and the corruption, the nepotism. For 12 years, it's not 2 years, so 12 years. After they went, and then she developed a strategy. The president that served with you support this man. But it is now that we are understanding that Joe Barker was part. Just like Oka, that old man can be saying it. Say, look, I was part. But who cares? He was part of the ongoing train. He had his own way to say, look, I'm not going to be on board because I'm not seeing the life we're supposed to share. Only one woman from Barclayville, from my town there, Saya, she said, no, the way things are going, I don't think it is, I don't think they are in the interest of Liberians. And so he went to Barclayville, Saya, I don't know her full name, but I saw it that time. She disassociated with the Salif government. You see? So the realities there were very, very dire. And so we cannot take the blame all alone. Ellen Sirleaf, where is Robert Sirleaf, in fact, that has stolen some money? And this one said, I take responsibility. Where is the money? Where is the money? And then some figure-headed guys are not able to go, are not able to state the fact. Where is Robert Sirleaf then that everything on where? That is not how things work. That is not how things work. So people that are criticizing I will be taking notice, and there's nothing they can do to me. Some of them were in the United States here, and then they left. Anytime you see me in that place, I retire with my money in my pocket. Then I'm walking on the street of Monrovia. So nobody's going to say, hey, I'm not going to give him a job. I will already be having money in my pocket as I walk. And some people who are tired with working, they say they can't find employment, and then they're in the bush where there's no money. They're where they go and carry noise making. It's tough here. So some people run away. To work in the American office is not something easy. So they go on outside. They don't have productivity. They don't have ingenuity. And then they carry noise making. Where is the reason for the failure? Somebody and myself were just arguing. Some type of bridges they built in Liberia. Ellen Sirleaf encouraged logging companies to pull stakes over, rivers. When I saw that bridge in Grand Crew, the bridge is getting rotten, so the stakes, what made the bridge is stakes, and then they pull dirt over the continue. And those things are getting rotten. So there are no way, they can find out to cross some rivers. These things are hurting Liberia. Even from right where we are seeing the reality. Then they say that we are everything. So when we came to power, it meant that every problem must be fixed. No, this is not how things work. This is not how things work. Actually, this is not how things work. Administration goes from one person to the other. So something that was not done ever since the new administration can't just do everything all together. And Liberia is big. Liberia is a big country. It's a big country. A place that's measuring so many, thousands of square miles is big. Grand Crew is big. Not to talk about places like Lofa, Grand Jide. You know how many bridges that must be built in Grand Jide alone in Sando? These are big places with rivers and major, creeks. They need to cross. People need to cross those waters to get on the other side to make life. But if no bridges, how do the people, walk? So, we can't be blaming the errors, the corruption on we are alone. No, it can't happen. Those of us he is related to, our hearts are not going to be as free for some people, some irresponsible people to go back there in Liberia and be making noise that, hey, where is that? And most especially, I was seeing some kind of Mapuka man was saying, we can come to power. In your own power, you can't do that. Only democracy must dictate the result. You know, so nobody can tell another person, you can't beat this. You can't beat that. Except the ballot box will tell people. So it hurts me that some people will come in the open. I don't know, they want to be, you know, seen talking. You can't talk ahead of democracy. Anywhere you can talk ahead of democracy. Democracy is another thing. It's another system. It's not socialism, where you know the rule is determined by how wealthy or how brutal you were. If you were not a king's son, you can't be ruling. Like in Britain, they can say that kind of thing. You know, they can say those kind of things. But not a free country, capitalist country that try to imitate the model of democracy. And then you stand there, you say, that person cannot be. That is hatred. And it was hurting me when that guy was saying it. But I knew if I had the opportunity, I would count on the social media and I would look for his video. And this time, when somebody is talking something negative about any leader, be it we or anybody, I will bring the person, you know, I will put the person's face, like what other people do. And I will be talking against that person. Let's see. But hatred is too much in Liberia. And to declare somebody, you know, dead is a weird thing that I've ever seen. And they drew weird picture, making look like a sick person, and then pushing that narrative, and then later on, it was circulated, it was promulgated throughout the length and breadth of Liberia that Weah is dead. That was dangerous. So, like, if anyone does not have something substantial to say, something, you know, wise to say, better go away, better leave. You know, you don't say it. If it is not true, don't say it. That's what the French people say. Qui n'a rien à dire doit quitter. Qui n'a rien à faire doit sortir. You see, that's what the French people say. Anyone who has nothing to say, something tangible, you have to go away. Just as anybody who does not have anything to do, you have nothing to do to help. Even yourself. People are going hungry. We have to find tangible solutions. Not only the government can do projects in a country, private citizens can do. We have to seek avenues, ways to promote that country. When we see people in need, we have to help them. That is how Liberia will be built. That is how, you know, things will be well regulated. If anybody is trying to do something and you know it, but Liberia is a small place, you cannot do something when people don't know it. People have friends, people have cronies. So when your friend is trying to do something, tell them, say, look, no, that is not tangible. Don't do it. But in that small place, small population, we find dead body in the streets. Every time. This month alone, I now have seen, you know, 2 or 3 people. In October, it was worse. And the other time. These are things that we cannot, you know, incorporate in our political metabolism. They don't work well. And if they continue, then some people, the children that we have in exile, and those people are too many. You know, those people that we have in exile, they will not want to return. Those children that are learning real book, they will not want to go Africa. And we ourselves, one of my friends was telling me, we were arguing, before we came to office, and we term is over Joe Boykai. We were arguing two people, either Joe Boykai or Weah. And then we didn't agree. Instead of talking about that, we were cursing one another. And that's what it was. I see somebody laughing at me. And you know, so this time around, my candidate succeeded. And later on, his candidate succeeded too. But he told me, he said, Napoleon, I'm not going to retire in Liberia. I'm just going to be here because of the frustrating things that are happening. People are dying. You know, some cruel people are killing people. So they are, so everybody is on edge. You know, I read a lesson in Prima 2. And that is a lesson where they said a pig and a rat. So they were supposed to go in certain places, a little house built. And so first they say the pig should go in. So the pig said, look, I'm too fat, I can't go through those doors. So they said the rat should go in. But there was a cat over there that can kill it. So the rat said, no, I see the cat there, I can't go in. So that's what, you know, Liberia has become. That's what Liberia has become. They target certain people for their money. And some people can succeed doing harm to those people because of their wealth. I have seen that many times. Many times. And even people, one gentleman that went there to invest, some people, you know, kill him. And the Liberian police, the Weah police, started to pursue that person. It happened during Ellen Sirleaf's administration and Joe Boykai. So that person was on a hunt, and when Weah came to power, and then Weah supported it. Weah said, no, nobody will use Liberia for criminality. So they pursued that person. He was hiding somewhere in Guinea, and he came. And because Ellen Sirleaf and Boykai were out of power, so he came. And the Liberian police didn't forget. They spotted him, and they put it behind him, and they arrested, and he wanted to be running. So the police will say, no, you are not. You are not. Either we will report your body or some kind of way. So they gave it to him on a foot, and he fell. And they brought him, and they carried him to the hospital. He killed a German man that wanted to invest in something. You know, that was cruelty. And those kind of things, we can't incorporate them. So my friends are poised to go to Liberia. Me too. I want to go there. There are jobs in Liberia. Except you are not educated, they have colleges. They get high schools. They got universities. So if you think you know, go there and teach. Go there and teach. At the same money. Why, you know, so much in government? When some of us go underground, the little things we know we will be practicing, well, we can go to the community, you know, college or a university and teach things like, you know, algebra, linear algebra, things like calculus, you know, because some people don't understand those things. So we can do that. These things are possible in Liberia. And then some people say, no job, no job. Schools are there. Schools have multiplied. There are many schools than ever before because the population has expanded. So everywhere, even Grand Gila, there is a university. And in every county, Grand Crew, Maryland has been off record for that. And everywhere in Lofa. So schools are all over. Accepting qualified people to teach. And some people go around, you know, they just only want to work in government. They just only want to work in government because they will make away with things that they did not put in place. And it has been going on from time to time from time to time. So Liberia never wake up. You see, Liberia never woke up. We had an ugly system, the True Wheat Party, that has been ruling the country from 1847. Nothing was changing. No better health care system. No car roads from that time. So another person, went in the force and said, look, we cannot continue in this route, and brought that regime down. There where we started to experience all of these, nonsense, that something that was supposed to be meant to be executed by then, hey, it is explosive. And it went on. That guy died 45 years ago. I was celebrating him the other time. And it's on our watch. We are not able to manage anything. And Liberia is going down and down and down and down. Noise. No benefit going to citizens. So it's only the we that went to work and say, look, citizens supposed to benefit something. Let them enjoy educational opportunity. I will pay wire, or the government should make it a policy to be paying wire and cutting down some of the tuition. So students will exercise that freedom to attend school. And then some people are not looking at it every day. They want to rant hatred against a clean-minded person. This thing, we cannot tolerate them. Fangon, we are putting in government, but every time there is responsible government. He is a failure too. He is a failure. Fangon is a failure. I'm going to get to him. We are called him. So if he knew anything better, he's supposed to, go on the table and say, look, Mr. President, this is what you are going to do. But he want to be talking. That is not his role to talk. So like the failure, what is hurting me is they were in government. They didn't point out where we was going wrong. If they were doing so, they were going to talk about it, and then we will gravitate to it that, hey, they said these things and we are deviated. And we had in his inner circle social roles that negated opportunities. These people were removed. How can we be blamed for everything? So we have to look here and there instead of blaming that one person. And they are going on the rampage saying he can come back. You can't do that. It happened to us here in the United States. Donald Trump got in power at that time, 2017. He said this, that, I will stop this, I will do this. People hated him. So the next round, he failed. And then he came back. People were trying to prevent it. He came now, everybody enjoying him. And now we are all awaiting our $2,000 check. Whatever it is, a little, a big, we want to put it in our pocket. There are some programs that you talk about, and it working, the tariff. So every day, human beings are getting educated. And he doing everything that some people like, more people, because that's why they've supported his election. We will come back. Those things that he did not do, and he get popularity, and he got, command everywhere, anywhere he went. If he needed something, he get it. So we can't erase that, that popularity in him. People love him. Liberians love him. When we are walking, people rise. People want to see him. That is his star. Nobody can quench it. And so we will be here. And we'll be pushing some of these narratives where we see people pushing a lot of hatred. We will talk. And Henry Kosa, he's not ever discussing about, taxation, the money that coming in. How will it be used, to benefit more people? What are the projects he talking about? I'm not hearing anything. from him every time, talking at the pitch of his voice. Henry Costa, I know some people will tell you, but it is ugly of you and all of those people that are shouting at the tip of the, at the height of their voices. It doesn't make sense. It is only empty bottles that sound the most. We have to build Liberia constructively and with good policy. Hatred is not going to be defined in Liberia. We tried it and we saw what it did. I'm not going to go in details. So it's not going to repeat. It's not going to repeat like repeating Desmond. And so I'm leaving, right now. And those are the few things I had in my chest that I didn't voice out. And then I will call up on time. And so those of you that are listening, I thank you. And I know people will come to play this. We have to build Liberia. It is a matter of must. We are behind. We cannot encourage hatred to cut us down again. And that could be my thought. Napoleon Toll in Oregon. Have a great day. Bye.